Welcome back, everybody. Unit 8 is our climate changing. Yes, we're at the end of our unit. Today we're going to do focus on writing. So if you can open your book at page, 193. Yes, focus on writing. Of course, we're going to start with our vocabulary, always reviewing first what we've learned throughout the unit. So the words that we've been using in reading 1 and reading 2. Read the story about a group called the Global Climate Coalition. Now, I want you to complete the story with the words from the box. We've got adapt, affecting, atmosphere, carbon dioxide, debate, emissions, energetic, escaped, evidence, fossil fuels, gases, limits, link, and warned. And this is a story which is called the Global Climate Coalition. And we have the words 1 until 14. I'd like you to read it and put the correct word in the correct place. Okay, you can pause your video to do this. Go ahead. Okay, very good. That brings us to expand. In expand, we always look at part of speech. We're always looking at how we can use the words to do something more with it. And so what I want you to do is look at the list of nouns taken from reading 1 and reading 2. Yeah, we see here the list of nouns in the box. Which of these nouns can be used with the adjectives below? Some nouns can be used more than once. For instance, number 1, we have the word successful. We can use successful agreement, successful government, or successful production. So I'd like you to combine these nouns with the words. And remember that some of the nouns can be used more than once. So we've got number 2, clear, 3, warm. And then the next page, 4, powerful, 5, energetic, 6, harmful, 7, increasing, 8, national, 9, educated, and 10, massive. Okay, you can pause your video. I would like you to fill this out, numbers 1 until 10. Great, that brings us to create. Now, here, the question is actually asking you to write a paragraph explaining different views of climate change science. So, and then you use at least 5 of these words in the box. Now, I'm not going to ask you to do this right now, but I do want you to think about it. Like if I would ask you a question about it, or if I would ask you to say something about climate change science, how would you respond to it? And what words would you use from the box? Please take some time to think about that. Grammar. Read the paragraph and underline the words may, might, and could. You can underline, you can highlight, or you can circle. Go ahead. Future possibility. Now, if we're talking about the future, which we don't know for certain yet, but it's a possibility, we can use the models may, might, and could. Yeah, so now here you see the explanation about these words. Let's look at that. Number 1, use may, might, and could to talk about future possibility. So it may be windier, it might be drier, it could be managed. So there is a possibility means also that it could not be. Number 2, use may not or might not to express the possibility that something will not happen. Use couldn't to express the idea that something is impossible. So may not, might not. It could or could not happen. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But if you say it couldn't, then it's definite that it's impossible for it to happen. There are a lot of clouds, but it might not rain. Or we couldn't stop carbon dioxide emissions completely, but we could reduce them. That means that it was impossible. Use if we develop new, the use here is if we develop new fuels, we may not need oil in the future. We do not say if we develop new fuels, we mayn't need. We cannot say mayn't. You cannot contract that. So you would have to say may not. Number 3, questions about possibility usually do not use may, might, or could. Instead, they use the future, like will be going to. The present progressive, which is continuous, or phrases such as do you think, Or is it possible that? Yeah. The answers to these questions often use may, might, and could. In short answers to yes/no questions, use may, might, or could alone. If be, the verb be, is the main verb, it is common to include be in the short answer. So let's look at it. When will CO2 levels come down? They might start coming down in 100 years. Are we going to be able to adapt? We might adapt if we limit emissions soon. When will the temperature stop rising? It may stop in 100 years. Do you think developing countries will reduce gas emissions? They could reduce them if it's not too expensive. Is ExxonMobil going to continue to discredit global warming? It might. Will emissions be reduced quickly? They might be. Yeah, so these examples, they portray everything here what we talked about in number 3. Okay, now let's try it out. Okay, let's apply this. Complete the questions and answers to express the future possibility. There may be more than one correct answer. Now, the first one is done for you. How much are sea levels going to rise in the next 100 years? And then the answer is sea levels may rise, might rise, could rise from 7 inches to 2 feet. So there are 3 options. I'd like you to do number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Go ahead. Great. That brings us to our final writing project. You are writing an essay about how climate change is affecting your home country or another country, and what changes have already occurred, what is changing now, what changes are predicted for the future. And you have to explain the causes and effects of these changes using the vocab, the grammar, the future possibility, using the grammar, and also using the reading skill, identify the reading skills that you've had in the unit, all of them together, put them all together to write your journal. Okay, so the first thing we do in pre-writing is, you know that already, we analyze the question and then we brainstorm on our ideas. And for the brainstorm in your journal, you could use a causal chain. It helps you see the relationship between causes and effects. So something starts, causes this, and it results in this, and it goes on and on and on. So you could use this causal chain to come up with your ideas for your journal. In a cause and effect essay, you explain the relationships between causes and effects, something that's makes something else happen, which then has an effect on something else. Often there are many causes which result in one effect, or one cause which results in multiple effects. I'd like you to read the essay and complete the activities that follow. So this is the essay. Then we go to the next page. Read the introductory paragraph. What is the thesis statement in this text? In this essay, what is the thesis statement? The thesis statement is one sentence that holds the general topic and purpose of the whole essay. It's always the last sentence of the introductory paragraph. Please underline it. Number 2, read paragraph 2 and draw a cause and effect map for it. 3, read paragraph 3 and draw a cause and effect map for it. And 4, read paragraph 4 and draw a cause and effect map for it. Please do this because I will be asking you about this. Go ahead. As you will be writing, or maybe you've already started writing your first draft for your essay, make sure you have a clear introductory paragraph, including a thesis statement, which is the main idea of your topic, of your essay, right? Which is the general topic and general purpose that covers the whole essay, about how climate change is affecting the country of your choice. And then 3 body paragraphs, each one focusing on one set of cause and effect relationship. Each body paragraph will give reasons, examples, and facts to support your causes and effects using PEEL, yeah? PEEL, yeah? So your point is your main point. Explain your main point. Give evidence for your main point, another main point, explain evidence, another main point, explain evidence, and in your concluding sentence of that body paragraph is linking it back to the topic sentence. And then you go to the next body paragraph. Your concluding paragraph summarizes your main ideas, restating the thesis statement, and adds a final comment. So it should be SC, so summary and conclusion, recommendation, and takeaway. Just like it is in your journal. You have to also use clear transitions in your essay. You know that already. That's also in your rubric. But in this case, the transitions that you will be using will show cause and effect. So we have because, since, consequently, therefore. These are all transitions that show cause and effect. And if you're still confused, you can also just Google it and figure it out, because there are a lot on the internet. Yeah, so because, since, consequently, therefore are transitions. Writers use transitions to help the reader move from one idea to the next, from one subtopic to the next subtopic, but also within the body paragraph, from first main point to the second main point to the third main point, so it's all connected. Because, since, and show cause, consequently, and therefore show effect. Yeah, different transitions are used to show cause and effect. So transitions used to show cause are also called adverbial conjunctions. They show cause. Yeah, it's just a difficult word. Adverbial conjunctions used to show cause. We can use because, since, and as. Transitions used to show effect. You could use therefore, consequently, thus, as a result. And if you want to know more, you can just look it up. Okay, you're going to read this report about climate change around the world, and I want you to complete the sentences with the best choice of the transition. Which transition do you think is the best to use? You may need to add commas to some sentences. Yeah? You can pause your video to do this. It's numbers 1 until 11. Go ahead. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson. You can go back to your own draft and see, hey, how did I do with my brainstorm? Was it good? Have I already looked for sources, the information that I can include in my writing? How is my essay written? Are there any mistakes? So you have a checklist, right? Does your essay clearly explain the causes and effects that you think are important for your topic? Does it contain an introductory paragraph, 3 body paragraphs, and a concluding paragraph? Does the introductory paragraph contain a thesis statement stating the main idea of your essay? Does each body paragraph focus on one set of cause and effect relationships? So one subtopic each, which is completed in the body paragraph. Does each body paragraph contain reasons and examples, PPL, and facts to support the causes and effects? Do you use cause and effect transitions between paragraphs, but also between main points to help the reader move from one idea to the next? Does the concluding paragraph restate the main idea expressed in the thesis statement? So the concluding paragraph is very similar to the introduction, just different words. And do you use may, might, and could to express future possibility? And do you use the new vocabulary from the unit? Yay, so good. Okay, guys, that brings us to the end of our lesson. Let us review. Of course, we reviewed our vocab, completing a story, using the words in context, expanding the same words, but then looking at the part of speech. Yeah. And so connecting the nouns with adjectives. And then we continue with the grammar, looking at the words may, might, and could to express future possibility, completing questions and completing questions and answers. Then we looked at our final project for writing, brainstorming, making a causal chain, and looking at introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and concluding paragraph. We also looked at adverbial conjunctions to show cause. Those are transition words to show cause, and transition words to show effect. And you had to fill out the reports to do that, to practice that. And of course, we have the checklist. Amazing. So good. Thank you so much for paying attention and for joining me today. You're amazing. I'll see you very soon. God bless you. Bye, everybody.